At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that most negative feelings come from how we see the world. We often mistake things like money and reputation for real virtues like wisdom, justice, and courage. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Seneca wrote that getting upset doesn't come from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. Stoicism teaches that life's ups and downs don't really matter, but we give them power to hurt us when we don't see things clearly. Once we realize this, we can stop feeling distressed when bad things happen by understanding them better. For example, we know that everything in life, even life itself, is temporary. The pain we feel when we lose something we love comes from thinking it will last forever. But by accepting that everything changes, we can handle loss better because we know it doesn't define us. To build this strong mindset, Epictetus suggested, focusing only on what we can control and letting go of everything else. The only things we have control over are our thoughts, judgments, desires, and actions. Everything else, like other people's actions or the weather, is beyond our control. Stoicism finds freedom by focusing our desires only on what we can control. Wanting things outside our control makes us needy, while self-sufficiency brings freedom. Stoic training helps us become independent from attachment, fear, anxiety, and desires for things that don't matter. This makes us resilient and able to handle whatever life throws at us. We build inner strength that can withstand any outside challenges, like a fortress that remains strong during a storm. As Tim Ferriss said, Stoics aim to be the kind of people who can enjoy life and thrive no matter what happens. We start this inner transformation by changing our perspective. Daily reflection reminds us that only virtue and wisdom can truly help or harm us. Through practices like self-talk, writing, study, and meditation, we rewire our brains to focus on what's truly important. We train ourselves to value honor, dignity, and righteousness above all else, while seeing everything else as a luxury, not a necessity. Philosophy is only useful when we put it into action. Stoics like Musonius Rufus emphasized turning theory into real-life changes to become truly resilient. Seneca wrote that mental preparation isn't enough. We have to follow through with actions. He said, "Put yourself through the paces you have learned on firm ground. Learn to desire what you have, and you can get away with whatever lottery ticket you draw." So, we need to integrate Stoic principles into our daily routines, where our body supports our mental transformation. Repetition strengthens new habits and helps us rewire our brains. Our environment should remind us to live according to our Stoic ideals. Practices like cold showers, fasting, meditation, or self-denial trigger chemical changes in our brains that reinforce detachment, gratitude, and perspective. Here are some beginner exercises to get started. Morning negative visualization. Spend 10 minutes when you wake up imagining vividly losing someone you love or something valuable. Imagine reacting with grace and keeping in mind that everything is impermanent. This exercise helps you let go of attachments to external things. Intermittent fasting. Skip a meal or eat a simple meal once a week. Embrace the temporary discomfort of hunger without self-pity. Remember that countless generations before you experienced worse conditions, yet they persevered. This exercise strengthens your self-discipline and resilience. Public embarrassment exposure. In safe settings, intentionally embarrass yourself in small ways, like dropping papers or spilling a drink. Practice indifference to perceived humiliation and learn to amuse yourself without worrying about what others think. This exercise boosts your self-esteem and resilience. These exercises, practiced over years, compound to build a mental fortress that can withstand even the most significant challenges, becoming bulletproof, fortifying your inner citadel. While these initial exercises strengthen budding Stoics, the real test comes when facing more significant crises. As heavyweight boxing legend Mike Tyson said, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." Talking about Stoicism or making minor lifestyle changes might seem easy until real-life challenges test your resolve. Stoicism truly shines during potent calamities that strip away the external factors that once defined us. Strong preference without attachment shows its true worth when everything we want is suddenly taken away. Those who expect that small exercises will suffice during grave difficulties often find themselves overwhelmed. Only by going through such intense trials can you develop an inner strength like pure iron, resilient even in the face of the worst circumstances. Stoics become less reactive to external stimuli as they've lost sensitivity to pleasure and pain. They are devoid of stress when it comes to securing or avoiding almost anything. One inspiring example is James Stockdale, a Vietnam prison camp survivor. After being shot down and captured, he endured 7 years of daily torture, isolation, and starvation at the hands of his captors. Refusing to betray his country or himself, he stoically withstood unimaginable suffering. Instead of despairing over his situation, Stockdale comforted his fellow prisoners, maintained their morale with a tap code, and even found gratitude in glimpses of sunlight. His unbroken spirit shielded his dignity from systematic brutality, and he emerged with his honor, purpose, and inner freedom intact. Stockdale's acceptance of his likely death and his refusal to pray for early release allowed him to conserve his mental strength. This resilience enabled him to serve his fellow prisoners and withstand nearly a decade of torture and hardship. His example illustrates the power of Stoicism when outer structures fall away, leaving only a dense inner core forged through intense adversity. The long journey to an iron mine. Can we replicate this incredible resilience, keeping our heads high and our resolve firm when everything crumbles around us? Is this strength innate to certain individuals like Stockdale, or can we gradually build it over time, preparing for the fated crisis that may come our way? The key to developing such resilience lies in relentless, incremental self-improvement over decades. This is what allows us to respond with courage and acceptance when adversity peaks. Each small step we take toward non-attachment and self-mastery expands our potential to transcend tribulations, finding daily fulfillment in practicing wisdom and service, even in the midst of external chaos, generates powerful positive effects that counteract fear and egotism, which can undermine societies. As we progress through incremental improvements, we pave the way for others to transcend tribulations as well. We can guide them by our example, demonstrating that we can handle hardship with grace, without clinging to anger or despair. Stoic sages, like Marcus Aurelius, reached the highest level of Stoic ideals in action. They can face turmoil with non-attachment to the outcome, living nobly and welcoming whatever life throws at them. These rare individuals turn life's obstacles into opportunities for courage and wisdom. Their perspective allows them to greet life's challenges with dignity, serving as pillars of resilience for others seeking shelter from suffering and uncertainty. While sages represent the pinnacle of Stoic philosophy and practice, each small step we take toward non-attachment and self-mastery also expands the potential for others to transcend tribulation. Finding daily fulfillment in practicing wisdom and service, even in the face of external chaos, generates powerful positive effects that counteract fear and egotism, which can undermine societies. By progressing through incremental improvements, we pave the way for others to transcend tribulations as well. The Stoic journey doesn't promise a final destination, but prepares us to face adversity with courage and acceptance. We travel daily in small ways, slowly building a character that can withstand temporary setbacks. By wisely managing each day with courage, justice, and moderation, we pave a firmer path, making it easier for others to conceive of heroism and resilience. Stoicism teaches us that life's challenges can be opportunities for growth, and that, with inner strength, we can welcome the worst life offers while retaining our dignity and purpose. In the end, we can guide others by our example, showing that even in the face of adversity, we can remain resilient, serene, and free from clinging, anger, and despair.